Hi, how you doing? Tia here, back. Um, got some things on my mind. I figure it was the right time to share and open up. Um, just to give you a update, quick update, what I've been doing. Just have been seeing my videos there. Been staying busy, keeping myself busy. You know, since my wife left me, which I'll get to in a minute, I've been staying very busy and getting things done around the apartment and not thinking about it so much about the separation. And I'll be very honest, it's hard, but at times, a few years back, I kind of knew it. I saw the writing on the wall, and but as I said, I'll get to that in a minute. 4th of July was pretty nice, very, very easy, very laid back. I got a little sunburn at my forehead, so I went to Grafton Park. So now, after that incident, I make sure to wear my Honda Civic hat. It's not a MAGA hat. At distance, it looks like a MAGA hat, but it's not a Make America Great hat. It's a Honda Civic S.A.D right here. See? Civic S.A.D. I think it's pretty cool with Civic, right? You go CIVIC and then either way. And of course, you take the SI and you switch them around. It's Civic or SI. So it's pretty cool. I had an 88 Honda Civic and I had a 93. So both good cars. Had their day. They're off in Civic heaven. Joking aside, as I said, I went to a drive-in movie. I've been maskless. Haven't really left the area, and I haven't been to Florida and things like that. I'm a little concerned with them bringing mask mandates back. But there are people, I guess, that just don't want to take it serious. So that's their choice. Hopefully, they'll have a mandate where you either get vaccinated or you don't choose to get vaccinated. Well, there's consequences. It's like drinking and driving. You can drink and get behind the wheel, but you get an injury or whatever, or you get an accident. Well, there's big consequences. I think the same thing. But anyway, I didn't come to talk about vaccines and things like that. I pretty much covered all that. But yeah, me and my soon-to-be ex-wife is started on May. From the time she moved out in April to May, it seemed like we had a period of calmness, and it looked like we were going to truly be friends and be able to get along. And then she calls me on May 24th around 9 or 10. I think it was 9 o'clock. I was in the middle of a project, and she's telling me to drop everything. Forget about this whole charade. Move in with her. I know how she is. She wanted to be in control of me, I feel like, and she figured, well, I move in her place. She makes the rules, and but I made it very clear on the phone I wasn't interested, and she kept on pushing it. And when I told her no, she hung the phone up on me right in the middle of a sentence. So then I kind of figured she was hot-headed, so I didn't want to meet with her for a month. I didn't feel babysitting her dog or meeting any of her friends I've never met would be appropriate. I didn't want. It wasn't that I didn't want to be friends. It was just wanted her to cool down a little bit. but she didn't respect my space or my decisions. So then she, a month later, right around the middle of June, um, decided wants a divorce. I saw that on the wall, the writing on the wall. And then the thing that really hit me the hardest was when I asked her, "Are we still friends?" She's like, "No." And then what was even harder was the fact that she was still Facebook friends with my sister and my family and my other friends, but not me. And she blocked me. In fact, I can't see what's on her profile. I mean, I don't really care, but it'd be nice to know how she's doing. I mean, legally she's still my spouse, but yeah, it was a hard weekend. Took a few days to truly get back to myself and feel myself, and best way was to stay busy and preoccupied, I felt. Well, that's what I've been doing. But I feel like I don't want to go too much into her background and every little detail, but she's from another country, the Philippines originally, and we met online back in '08, and I was very hesitant because when I talked to her back in 2008, she was a very quiet person, very shy, and for a year we would chit chat on and off, and then eventually I didn't hear from her. You know, I figured, well, okay, it's just going to be an online friendship, not much. And then out of the blue, about 11 years ago, she contacted me, needed financial help. You know, without my financial help, she would not have been able to graduate. So that should have been one red flag right there. But because I wanted to be a good person and help her, despite the money being tight for me, I went ahead with it. And then she kind of started putting on this thing, started throwing those "I love yous" out. And I was kind of very doubtful, and then I played along with it because I guess I felt desperate. At the time, I was 40 at the time. To make the long story short, and then right around 2013, I came out and visited her. Circumstances were right. I had money, time. Went out to her country for 2-3 months. We fell in love. Sort of got in a lot of arguments. Didn't bother to pay attention to red flags. Kind of went, I guess love will blind you. So then I went back to my country right around 2 months after I'd gotten out there, 2.5 months. Found work. Then we had a small breakup for a little while. Then we got back together. I had told her, quite frankly, that if things didn't work out and we managed to get married and we decided later on down the road we want a divorce, we get divorced. And 7 months ago at this time, back in December, I told her the biggest regret I had was not to say no. Even when she out here, I had my doubts back then, 12, 13 years ago. I had my doubts every year for some reason. Something inside of me was telling me we weren't right for one another, and I just didn't listen to my gut feeling. And of course, then the catch-22 would be, you don't take a chance, you ain't gonna know. Then you have the biggest regret there for not taking a chance. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's a tough call, you know. And back then, 13 years ago, was like today. And I think today's even harder because with the pandemic, you're restricted where you can and can't go. Some countries won't even let Americans go into their country. So, and being older too, it doesn't help. You know, you lose your looks and, you know, your voice, everything. You know, women and men today judge you by your looks, how much money you have. It seems so. I've gone into chat rooms just to chat with people, men and women. It's a different scenario. Even when the online chat room thing was big back in the late 2000s, different environment now than it was even 10 years ago. So people are more narcissistic and selfish, I feel like, guys and gals, and yeah, it's a scary thought. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I you know, we had a breakup, then we got back together same year in 2014. And then I went out again in 2015 because I hadn't seen her in about 2 years, and it seemed like she changed and she had matured because there was a 16, 17-year age difference. So yeah, I did the paperwork. You know, she paid for part of the fees. I paid for most of it in the form of a K-1 visa. And something in 2015 told me, or kind of turned me off toward her. Maybe it was her personality. A lot of it had to do with her personality that turned me off. But like I said, I didn't have the courage at the time to say no, because I didn't want to break her heart. So as a result of it, yeah, we got married in 2016. And then the small fights began even a month after we were married. I mean, on our wedding night, we didn't even make love or anything. Just something inside me shut down. I think that's a red flag, you know. That bad sign come. My family never even came to the courthouse. I was lucky to have my roommate be a witness. So yeah, that was another red flag right there of bad sign, bad omen. Even a judge told me within 5 years or a year, not uncommon for people to get divorced. So at least I could say, I mean, each year that passed, first year was fine. That was a honeymoon period. As soon as my wife was able to work and got a job at her place of work, she started to change. And then by 2 years into the marriage, by her second anniversary, the fights, nothing physical, but the verbal fights got really heated. And then in 2019, it looked like we were going to get a divorce, but then we refrained and tried. We were thinking about trying marriage counseling, but then we sort of like, we shrugged it off. Thankfully, we didn't have kids. And then when the pandemic came along, yeah, she dropped a bombshell on me that she wasn't very, very happy. So I'll go into that in the next part. Maybe I'll make this a 2-part talk. Some things to go over, but I felt this was the right time to open up about my situation, my personal situation. This is like therapy for me. So okay, I'm gonna stop here, and we'll do the next part. So I'll go a little more detail about the last year. All right, till next time, take care and God bless. Have a good day. Be safe there.